Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, all of you. And just a small correction, we are both into wind and solar. And yeah, now. Though bread and butter is still from wind. Now, talking of what works, what is working, and how to scale it up. I think the first, we had governments before, we had governments and governments for the last 60, 65 years, but the latest government's thrust for renewable energy, the announcement that 175 gigawatts have to come within the specified period. I think that was a paradigm shift in the thinking of all the people who were not directly connected with the renewable energy, but with the power sector. That changed the thinking of the states also, because the policies that were coming, the pronouncements that were coming from Delhi changed the mindset of a lot of people in the states also. States started competing with each other to get renewable energy more and more. So that was, I think, the paradigm shift that changed things forever, in my opinion, because everybody then sat up and thought, why is renewable energy so critical for our present as well as future as India? Let's talk of the world later, but for India, it is the most important thing because we don't have our natural resources, which can feed the huge energy requirement that we have. Along with this came the long-term policies. Many states brought in the long-term policies. That also has helped, and that has made things work. You can see that in the last 20 years or so, wind power was averaging about 1,500 to 2,500 megawatts every year. But last year it was 3,200 and odd megawatts. This year we expect it to go up to 4,000 megawatts. So these policies are helping. RPO adherence is becoming more, people are becoming more compliant, but RPO, there has also been a setback in the sense that many states, several states have clubbed hydro as part of the RPO, which should not be done actually. Renewable energy should have a separate RPO, and hydro, even though it is renewable in nature, should not be clubbed with this new renewable energy. Power evacuation has improved considerably, and the transmission systems have been put in place in many states, especially Tamil Nadu. The national grid, actually Tamil Nadu was connected to the southern grid was connected to the national grid only last year, and that has helped a lot. Actually, the Indian grid is much larger than the European grid. We have 30 states, they have 29 constituents, but they have no problem in transferring electricity to each other because of a strong strong local, European grid. Our grid is more diverse than the European grid. We have more hydropower in the northeast than Norway. We have thermal power in abundance. We have huge wind potential in the south, and it comes at a time when the north of India requires power very, very badly. And so it was an ideal thing that the national grid came. Of course, it needs to be strengthened. But these were the baby steps that we took in the last 2 years, which has really helped in making things work. The latest announcement on repowering, because we had a lot of vintage machines. Technology has improved so much that we can now go for larger and larger machines, which have brought down the cost of energy, which is a critical thing that we need today. So repowering has also become a reality. So this again a thing which is going to work. Talking of scaling up in the wind side, open access, which has now been announced and now the groundwork is being laid, that is going to be the game changer for scaling it up, because there are many states where you do not require all that renewable energy, but there are many states who don't have renewable energy and would like to use that energy. So open access is going to be, is the game changer for the near future. Talking of solar, There's a huge demand, really speaking, not for grid connected. Grid connected, we all know about it, but village electrification. Distributed generation, that is something which we have neglected, and we must go for that, because the government's intention is that every village should be electrified, but let us do it through solar and biomass through a distributed generation. That is going to make the difference. Make in India for solar, that's very, very important, because today we are importing all our solar panels, and that's not a good or healthy thing for the future. We must also have quality standards in solar like we have in wind, international quality standards, so that the price variation between different brands and models are not that high. And from the industry side also, there has been a change in mindset. We have also said that we should bring in scheduling, forecasting, so that it becomes easier for the utility to integrate renewable energy into their system. So these are some of the things which are working, and some of the things that we need to put in place to scale it up. It's not a problem to scale it up. We can be the supplier of renewable energy for the rest of the world, because I have found, not only in my present company, but in my past company, we have plants in China and in other parts of the world. We are the cheapest to produce renewable energy in India, cheapest. If you take away the subsidies that the Chinese are getting, we are cheaper than them. Even with the subsidies, we are cheaper. That's the good news, and our quality standards are extremely high. Thank you very much.